It is Sunday, the 25th of September. I'm in front of the Unitarian Church in Montreal. And we got a bunch of people here. It looks like they're going to sing their way into church any minute now. It's coming up for 10:30, which is the beginning of the service. They did something a couple of Sundays ago, the first Sunday of the church year. Water Communion in Gathering Sunday, where they sang a roomy poem, and so it looks like they're going to do something similar today to welcome themselves into church. So see John ended up there at the end of the ramp, getting ready probably to start things off. So all these people standing here, every single one of them, is complicit in Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of clergy abuse, a subset of which is clergy sex abuse, and a subset of that is such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers. And these people, every single one of them, is complicit in Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of all forms of clergy abuse. But sadly, including pedophilia and rape committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers. Not to mention Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teachers, not to mention, let's see what we got here. So, there's Diane's having a look at some document. So, yeah, Diane, you know, back in 2007, 2008, 2009, she was claiming to fear for her personal safety, but I see virtually no sign of any fear of me on the part of Reverend Diane Rollert. So either she got over her fear, or maybe she was just outright lying to begin with. Maybe she just lied about being afraid of me so that she could obtain a restraining order against me, trying to force an end to my protest. So, well, here they go, starting to sing. Oh, Kumbaya, that's a good one.
Good morning, Robin.
Good morning. Oh, I'm fine. I'm basking in the glory of being accused of blasphemy by batshit atheist Unitarians.
Sorry I asked.
Yeah, oh yeah, be careful what you ask for lest you get it, you know? So they're singing Kumbaya, you know, how appropriate. Kumbaya. Most of them are atheists. Yeah. So, oh Lord, Kumbaya. So the ultimate peacenik song. And yet all of these people are complicit in Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of clergy abuse. So, yeah, they can sing Kumbaya all they want. So, yeah, wow, Kumbaya. That really takes the cake. A bunch of Unitarians literally singing Kumbaya on Sunday the 25th of September 2016. Every single one of them 100% complicit in Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers. And there's Nancy Lorimer looking for someone or something. Alrighty, so we shall go back to walking back and forth with picket signs. Just leave my Unitarian Universalist perversion of justice sucks U*U picket sign here. And I think I'll pick up my unsafe sect one. It's easily read from quite a distance away. Actually, I think I'll just move the perversion of justice one a little bit over here. So, so yes, my chalk slogans were erased by one of the church members. Well, actually two, because one was helping reel out the hose. So we actually got a fair number now of Montreal Unitarians who are you know, directly responsible for erasing my chalk slogans that protest against not only Unitarian Universalist clergy abuse, but also Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of clergy abuse. So I think we're going to wrap up this segment fairly soon because I want to keep it reasonably short. I want to have that whole kumbaya thing fairly short, but we'll continue holding the picket signs as a few other people walk by, and then I think we're going to wrap this up unless something of interest happens. So the woman in the orange, oh, we got a bunch of people coming out here. Got the daughter of David Horan, 3 other people. So David Horan assaulted me a couple of Sundays ago. So that's his daughter walking away with 3 other people. Got someone going up with a bike. Oh, they're looking back at the slogans. Yep. 2 of them were looking back at the slogans. And now, trying to remember her first name. Horan. What is the first name? I know it, I just can't quite dredge it up from the memory banks this morning. May come back to me later. So this guy shows me a big yawn. So the question is, well, was that an actual yawn, or was this his way of saying he doesn't care about my picket sign which says unsafe sect, or my picket sign that says Unitarian Universalist perversion of justice sucks you, ask us you? Considering how wide open his mouth was, and considering how long he held that yawn, I think it was probably trying to send me a message. And once again, it's a message of willful ignorance, psychological denial, not being the least bit interested in knowing the truth about Unitarian Universalist clergy abuse, not Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of clergy abuse, and so on. So, yeah, you know, if I had to make a decision on whether that yawn was an actual yawn, or if it was a fake yawn, or if it was maybe an exaggerated actual yawn, like, you know, maybe he actually was starting to yawn, but then he exaggerated it to send me a message. I mean, that's a possibility too. It's not pure black and white. Could be some gray in there, just like there's plenty of gray in Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of clergy sex abuse. Yeah, I basically, I say at minimum this guy exaggerated his yawn. I don't think that was a natural, ordinary run-of-the-mill yawn. I think at minimum it was a actual yawn that he exaggerated to show his lack of concern for my protest about Unitarian Universalist clergy abuse and Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial thereof. Yeah, I think I'd have to come down on that side of the divide. So let's just take a look at the camera here. 8 minutes 24 seconds. Okay, I had wanted to keep the clip short, but you know, things do happen, and that's, you know, the kind of thing that does happen. That's one reason why I keep the camera running almost constantly. Let's see, this young gentleman's going into. Fair number of young people. The church seems to have attracted a certain number of, you know, basically university age people, if not actual university students. I know that for about 3 years now they've been involved in, you know, Concordia and McGill, you know, trying to get new members. So maybe they were successful to some extent. Yeah, hopefully the younger members will one day pull their heads out of their ass and get on the internet and do some Googling and discover to their chagrin that they belong to a church that is extremely hypocritical, and which is a participant in cover-up and denial of all forms of clergy abuse committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers. So Alrighty. Pretty good.
What's this?
Unsafe
section.
Unsafe sect. Sect ma sen.
What's it mean? Unsafe sect.
Well, it's a play on the term safe sex. Safe sex, unsafe sect. This religious community has a clergy sexual abuse problem.
This inside?
Not this church locally necessarily, but the bigger church, like the Roman Catholic Church, not just one, but many.
Yeah, they have the abuse for the kids.
Yeah, so same thing with Unitarian Universalism.
Ah.
Yeah. There we go. So, just explain my unsafe sect picket sign to a Montreal taxi driver. And yes, it is a play on the term safe sex. And of course, it suggests that the Unitarian Universalist sect, because it is in fact a sect, fits the dictionary definition of the word sect, is not safe in terms of clergy sexual misconduct. I'm not saying every single Unitarian Universalist minister is guilty of clergy sexual misconduct. I'm not saying every Unitarian Universalist minister is a pedophile or a rapist like some of them are. But the fact of the matter is that the Unitarian Universalist religious community has a certain number of pedophiles and rapists in its clergy. Once you get past that, you've got, many, many more ministers who are guilty of things, such as, to borrow the term of someone who posted recently in response to a UU World magazine article, that, ministers who use their congregation as a harem, Unitarian Universalist ministers who have multiple affairs with congregants and so on. Unitarian Universalist ministers who cheat on their spouses by having affairs with church members and so on. And what's unsafe about the Unitarian Universalist sect, as with many others, is not just that they have, a fair bit of clergy sexual misconduct, but when it comes to light, when someone files a complaint about a minister, well, all too often the Unitarian Universalist Association and the individual or multiple Unitarian Universalist congregations involved, instead of dealing responsibly with the complaint against the minister and ensuring that the minister faces accountability, they do whatever they can to protect the minister from accountability and do whatever they can to silence the critic. And that can include shunning, ostracism, kicking members out of the church. It can include legal bullying, threats of legal action. It can include bringing bullshit criminal charges against people in an effort to silence them. It can involve falsely accusing yours truly of the criminal act of blasphemous libel for blogging about a couple of Unitarian Universalists who were charged, tried, and convicted of such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. So even after a Unitarian Universalist minister has been charged, tried, and convicted of rape, to say nothing of pedophilia, the Unitarian Universalist Association tries to keep that, out of the public eye as much as possible through legal bullying. The Unitarian Universalist Association told me to take down blog posts or they would have me charged with the crime of blasphemous libel. That's what the upshot of their false blasphemous libel accusation against me was. So even though the rapists that I had blogged about were charged and tried and convicted and sentenced to jail terms and actually spent time in jail, the Unitarian Universalist Association still tried to hide it as much as it can by having me remove blog posts that tell the truth about certain Unitarian Universalist ministers. And of course, I haven't blogged about the half of it. In 2012, I'd actually only blogged about a couple of very, very well documented cases where people were charged, tried, and convicted because I was trying to avoid being accused of slander and libel and so on. I essentially was trying to put things that are absolutely unquestionable on the internet. I could blog about rumors, I could blog about allegations and accusations and so on. If I did that, there'd be a whole lot more on the Emerson Avenger blog, I can assure you. But I was very, very careful to blog only about cases where there was no question, that the people involved were pedophiles and or rapists. And still, the Unitarian Universalist Association actually had the unmitigated gall to hire Stikeman Elliott Barristers and Solicitors litigation lawyer, Maitre Marc-André Coulombe, to falsely accuse me of the criminal act of blasphemous libel and legal bullying that clearly sought to intimidate me into removing these blog posts about convicted pedophiles and rapists. Which is insane as far as I'm concerned. It's immoral, it's unethical, it's borderline criminal, because if the Unitarian Universalist Association had gone to the SPVM police force and had asked them to have me arrested and charged with blasphemous libel for allegedly making unfounded and vicious allegations to the effect that ministers of the association engage in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape, well, they would be guilty of the public mischief of making a false report to the police. So that is borderline criminal. And yes, it's batshit crazy too. And on that note, we're going to wrap this up because we're coming to the end of a 17-minute segment. So yeah, that's pretty well it for this segment. I see my battery's low, so I need to change the battery. So what was a 3-minute segment got longer.